Welcome to Sip and Chat with T. Lynn. And listen, you know what it is. I am super excited because tonight I have an amazing guest waiting in the wings to chat with us tonight, y'all. But before we get started, you know what to do. Go ahead and share this broadcast because I'm telling you, this young lady right here is going to bless your life, and she has a testimony that's going to help somebody out. Do you hear me? I don't know who they are, but you do. So go on and share tonight. And join the conversation by commenting as we go along. We'll definitely be checking your questions. Now, without further ado, she is an author, she's a speaker, and she's the founder of Tragic Opportunities. Help me welcome y'all, Deborah Stathis. Welcome. How are you?
I am well. Thank you. Thank you for that lovely introduction as well.
You are most welcome, and you so deserved it. So, it is a sip and chat. So, what are you sipping on this evening?
Ah, I actually have plain old water. It's good.
Yes.
Give me just some water today. Well, today's
Hey,
I am, so.
I was going to say all the way. I forgot to tell y'all, she's all the way from Melbourne, Australia, and she took some time out of her busy day to join us tonight. So I'm certainly grateful. On my end, Deborah, I'm sipping on some good old green tea, got it nice and warm, and
Mm,
that's what I'm enjoying. But listen, I am excited to chat with you. When you and I met, we had a marvelous conversation, and your story is just amazing. And even more so, I love the title that you gave your foundation, Tragic Opportunities. And I was like, that's something good.
something in
So,
that. Mhm.
yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, yes, I'm the founder of Tragic Opportunities, and that's the core of what I do is tragic opportunities. So what that comes from is my own experience of creating opportunity from tragedy, from trauma, from stress, from adversity. And I developed this incredible passion to help other people to recreate their life and live authentically and find their freedom to be themselves. Um,
Yes.
yeah, and that's huge for everyone. And given the experience that I had with a
Uh
near
oh.
fatal car accident, where my life got turned upside down like that. I was told brain damage, blind in the right eye, and physically deformed. Uh, and I'm very proud to say I beat every medical odd against me. Uh, there's been years of struggle, of reconstruction, of an
Oh
acquired brain
no.
injury. There's
It
been
looks
10
like
years
we are
before I was comfortable in
frozen.
the I'll put it that way.
Uh oh. I'm back. I'm so sorry, guys. This is how you know we have something great to talk about. The internet won't let us be great. Oh no. Okay. So I'm not sure how much they heard, but I know that you were saying it was birthed out of your adversity,
Yes,
and just the trauma that you have gone through in your life. The funny
yes.
thing about that is, I tell people that all the time, that I feel like you find who you authentically are and what you really have in the core of you through adversity. Adversity tends to lead you in the direction of what it is that you are purposed to do and the difference you are to make.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it certainly can, and there's so many opportunities within adversity and trauma and physical injury, which I had as well. There's so many opportunities to really look at ourselves, to really look at yourself, and look at, well, hang on, what can I learn from this? And
Yes.
for me, and what I say in my book as well is that when I realised that I had the incredible opportunity to authentically reinvent myself, it was liberating. It was really
Yes.
liberating. I was like, let me look at, why am I responding to things a certain way? And why do I feel this way? What have I always wanted to do and never done? And why have I stopped myself? Does that really matter? Now that I've
Yeah.
faced death, does it really matter? Really finding what's important to me and what I value. And for me, I found my calling, helping others. I saw so many people falling apart and losing their way from trauma and adversity and stress and injury. And I thought, well, hang on, if I can survive my face getting smashed in and having a brain injury and rebuild my life and create success for myself personally and professionally, then I can help others do that too.
Yes. Yes.
So,
And so let's go into that a little bit. What exactly happened to you? Because you can't say my face got smashed in and not expect people to say, "What in the world happened?"
what?
You cannot leave them on that cliffhanger. So tell us what exactly happened.
So many years ago, I was driving home from work. I don't actually have a clear memory of this because of the injuries.
Yes.
However, I hit an oil slick on a slippery highway, and it was hot, and it started raining, and there was an oil slick on the road, so it was really slippery. I
Yeah.
wasn't speeding or doing anything that I shouldn't have been doing. I was an inexperienced driver though. I was quite young, and I went round a bit of a corner, and from the police report, from the witnesses, I pushed out a little bit to the back of the car. Work. It looks like I put my foot on the brake, which is the worst thing that you can do when you're in that situation. But again, I don't actually remember.
Right.
Lost control, went into the gravel on the side of the road, and back of the hatch lifted, spun around, and bananaed around a telegraph pole. On the driver's side, in my 1985 Toyota Corolla Seeker with no airbags.
Oh man. Oh
Yeah,
my
so
goodness.
the steering wheel was pretty much in the centre of the car,
Mm.
and we trapped in there. So the short version from there is that I was airlifted to one of Melbourne's uh, oldest and prestigious hospitals with the biggest intensive care unit. And yeah, to be blunt, they said, yeah, brain damaged, blind in the right eye, physically, she won't be very pretty, let's be blunt. And, we don't know whether she'll have a life of independence, whether she'll know who she is or anything. And
Right.
yeah, it was a pretty stressful journey. I've had my face reconstructed and lots of surgeries afterwards. I have an acquired brain injury. I did have bruising and bleeding to the left lung and a partially collapsed left lung, but that's kind of nothing in comparison to the rest of it. Um, so I broke my lower jaw, my upper jaw, my cheekbone, the eye orbit, my forehead, my nose, my cheekbone, and my upper jaw. And the worst break was the skull base, which the brain sits on. So you can imagine there through the sinuses. So that was multiple breaks through there, which punctured the layer of membrane around the brain. Brain injury, bruising, bleeding, swelling, repositioning, etc. Yeah, so I have neurosurgery as well.
I was going to say, so you're basically a walking miracle.
In some ways, yeah. I mean, wonderful medical system here, I have to say. I was put into optimal circumstances, so pure oxygen to prevent secondary brain damage,
Yeah.
and antibiotics and all those sorts of things. I had to wait for swelling to go down before they could operate on my face or my brain. And yeah, I was reconstructed, and then the years that followed was more reconstructive surgery and surgery to help, my eye and vision and things like that. But yeah, I'm basically the Terminator under here is what I do.
And I'm going to say, look at the book. You have your book right there behind you, and that's exactly how you portrayed it is in
Yeah,
terms of the Terminator. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be back.
Listen,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and you did come back.
that's
And
it.
one of the things that we talked about, you talked about your pivotal moment. You had a pivotal moment where
Yes.
you had to make a decision. Let's talk about that pivotal moment, because all that you went through was, like you said, traumatic alone. Like your whole life was flipped upside down. Whole life
Yeah.
flipped upside down.
Yeah.
And then you survived, but you survived with so much damage, so to speak, and
Yeah.
trauma.
Yeah.
But you came to a pivotal moment when you had to make a decision, and let's talk about that moment, because that was turning you in the direction of where you needed to go.
That's exactly
Tell us
right.
about that. Yeah.
Well, that was after I was discharged from the hospital. I was in an intensive care unit for over a month, 5 weeks or something, I think. And then I went into a rehabilitation centre. And in the hospital, the doctors and nurses had covered the mirrors in the bathroom and around. I had caught a glimpse of my reflection. I have a dream-like memory of it due to the brain injury and all the medication that I was on and things.
Right, right.
I had become very, very distressed, as you would imagine. And so they covered all the mirrors. And then I was in my little room in the rehabilitation centre, and I was by myself, and my brain was healing. There was less medication, starting to be able to think clearer. I was on my own, and in my room was a little basin and a mirror that was not covered.
That was not covered.
No, and I was sitting on my bed and I saw it and I thought, go and look, Deb, go and look. And I don't know how long it took me, but I walked up and I looked in the mirror, but I didn't just look, I waited. Like I remember I sort of put my hands down, I was looking at the sink and I was like, come on, you got to look. And I looked up and it was that reality. It was, oh my, whoa, and at that point my face was, because the impact was more on this side was more impacted in terms of aesthetically, if you will. And this side of my face was lower, it was sunken, my eye was closed, fixed and dilated, so I didn't have control over my eyelid at that time, and my eye wasn't moving. I could see, thankfully I still can see, which is great. And I had half a shaved head, I had a scarf over my head covering for the brain surgery and for the plates in my forehead. That was ear to ear across the top of my head. And I just looked and I cried and I was like, oh, whoa, this really happened. And then I took the scarf off and I was like, oh, and that hurt. But I
Yeah.
needed to look at the reality. I needed to face that. And I looked and then I felt something happened. And I was thinking about, doctors talk around you when you're that injured. I mean, there's no real choice really.
Right.
You might not be able to do this. They're coming in every day asking me what my name is, what day it is, who the person next to me is, who was always my mother,
Right.
because they're testing to make sure I'm,
Yeah,
my
to make sure you
brain's
have a memory and you know things. Yeah.
exactly. But from the patient's view, it's a bit, um, there was this little room that I was in, and I'm thinking all these limitations, like she won't be able to, she's not going to look the way she used to. And I looked at my reflection, and I was a driven young woman, still am driven. And that little room and the limitations that it represented and my reflection, I'm like, I don't look like that. That's not me. And I'm
Yeah.
not accepting this. I'm not accepting this prognosis. I'm not, no. And
Yeah.
I looked and I thought, all right, you're here now. What are you going to do forward? What are you going to do? From that moment onwards, I actually wowed them in the rehabilitation centre. I was discharged earlier than they expected, and I pretty much beat every medical odd against me from then onwards. So I've
And
travelled, I've studied at university, I've got two beautiful children. I, I've established a successful career. I now have my own business, which I run. Yes, I've managed post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety disorder, and I have surgeries that do come up as a result of my accident. Um, but I kept going, relentless pursuit to rebuild my life and live authentically, and
yes.
it's the absolute best of what I had. What can I learn? How can I be a better person? And then from there, how can I help others? So,
And let's talk about that because now, how are you helping others?
what started with my book, I wanted to share, and that was the first couple of chapters, which are more around my experience and injuries, were difficult, especially when I got the medical reports, and it was worse than I remembered and thought.
Right.
It brought back a lot of painful memories, a lot of tears, writing that part. But most of the book is about the strategies and the tools, and how to create what I call a tragic opportunity, which is
Yeah.
finding the lesson within our pain and our trauma and using that knowledge to improve ourselves and make decisions to improve our life and live authentically and find our freedom. That's what that
Yes.
is. And it started with that, and I have expert interviews in there from surgeons and neurosurgeons and other practitioners that have helped me to my path to wellness as well. And I now do speaking. I run workshops. I have a professional background in professional education and training, so I tie that in.
Yes.
And I'm really about, at the core of my message in everything is about finding the lesson, maximizing your opportunity, because there always is one, and living
Yes.
your truth, your authentic truth. When we come from there, we find our opportunity, and we can it's not just about making lemonade out of lemons.
Right.
It's about creating a whole orchard of lemon trees.
Yes. Yes. Create your whole orchard, not just the lemonade itself. Go get the whole orchard so you can have as much lemonade as you need. I
That's it.
love that.
Yeah.
Yes. What an amazing story just to see you now and how you did not give up. Because and I always say this, life will give you a million reasons to give up, to not press forward, to not continue to pursue the goal. And one thing that you said is key and so true. Oftentimes we go through things, we go through situations and circumstances, and we don't ask, okay, what can I learn from this?
Yeah.
Most of the time we get stuck. Now, I'm not saying
Mm.
all the time, but most of the time we get stuck in the woe is me, and sometimes why did it happen to me, and this is how it's going to be, and you're
Mm.
not looking or projecting past to say, but it doesn't have to be that way.
That's right.
One of my favorite quotes, and I don't know the source of it because I've heard different people say it, and that is, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% what you do about it.
Yeah.
And that is the empowering part of it all. Like,
Yeah.
just because life dealt you those lemons doesn't mean that you can't squeeze the juice out of them, put a little agave in it, and make some nice, and some ice cubes, and make you some nice lemonade.
That's right.
That's not, but sometimes we get stuck on the incident that happened. And that's not to say that things aren't traumatic, because, like you said, that was very traumatic. Like, literally, your whole life, who you thought yourself to be, who you knew yourself to be, you look in this mirror and you no longer see that person. That
Yeah.
is traumatic.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know who this person is in front of me right now. But what I do know is that I can't stop here. and we have to transform into something recognizable.
That's exactly right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Yeah, and it is so much what you're saying there about, you know, 10% what happens to us, 90%, how we respond.
Yeah.
So and that's key. That's so key. We can't always control what happens in our life or what happens to us,
Yes.
but we can control how we respond to it.
Yes.
We can, and that's
Yeah.
where our power is. And also, focus is key too. For as long as we focus on what was, what we thought we wanted, or who we thought we were
Yes.
or should,
Yes.
as long as we focus on there, we will stay
It's
stuck. We will
exactly.
stay stuck.
Exactly.
How about, okay,
Mhm.
and it is a journey, but I'm here now. What am I
Mhm.
going to do? So, what do I want to do? What
Yes.
interests me now? Not what I used to want to do. And I went through that path initially. The first thing is to try to go back to your old life, my work, what I was studying. I went, no,
Not the same anymore.
no. Now,
Mm-mm.
could have persisted. No, that's it. I'm going to get my old life back. But I would have ended up miserable.
Yeah.
Instead, I went, okay, what do I want to do now? What interests me now? What's something new? And there's exciting in that, new opportunities, experiencing
Yeah.
new things and learning more. It can be turned into something wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
And we have that power and we don't see it.
Yes. And keep in mind, so for all of you all that are watching, just keep in mind we're not saying that it's easy. That's not what we're saying at all. It is a journey, but it's what you're learning along the way. It's a journey. Sometimes it even now, I'm sure Deborah will agree with me. Even now, she still has to work to maintain her mindset. She still works daily to stay in her rhythm, because there are always things that are going to come along and try to pull you back, or try to
Yeah,
make you seem like, or make it seem like you need to go back to what was. It's
yeah,
a journey, but each day you work, each day you grow, each day you get better, and it continues to go from there. It's not
yeah.
easy. We're not saying that. We're just saying that it can be done if you're willing to walk through the process. That's what we're saying.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And walking through the process is so much better than and less painful. It might seem more painful because it's and scarier because it's the unknown in a lot of ways. But staying stagnant and holding on to something that doesn't suit you anymore is far worse in the short
Yeah.
term and particularly in the long term
Yeah.
for physical, mental health, spiritual health, for everything,
Yeah.
for relationships, for everything. So it's that saying, "Fortune favors the brave." Uh, there's something to that,
Yeah.
and it's especially after trauma or stress. What I've witnessed with people as well is that they don't recognise their own strength. There's a fear with the new version of themselves, but you've survived.
Yeah.
Look at what you've come through. You can do anything now.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Get to that place. You know what? You've survived that pain, that trauma, that stress. You can do anything
Yes. You
now.
can do anything. You
Yeah,
can do anything now.
that's right. You
Ah,
can do anything now.
I love it. I
Yeah.
knew I was going to have a ball talking to you. I hope you have been enjoying my dear new friend Deborah. Hope you've been enjoying her. So, we've been flashing her information along the way, but how can people get in contact with you if they want to connect and glean a little bit more from your services?
Well, I'm on Facebook, for example, as Deborah Stathis, author, speaker, coach, tragic opportunities, of course. So I have my page on Facebook. I'm of course on LinkedIn, Deborah Stathis, my name, and of course my website www.tragicopportunities.com. And of course, anyone can email me if they want to, or message me via my website, which is just info@tragicopportunities.com.
There you go. Info at tragicopportunities.com. All right. So time always flies when we're having fun, and we're almost out of time. But before we run out, there's one thing that I want you to do for me. You've dropped so many good, juicy nuggets of wisdom along the way tonight. What is one thing that you want to leave with our viewers before we go?
It's something that it's a key message of mine, I suppose, as well, which is my message is remember that and be aware of the fact that you have the choice and the power to begin again at any time,
I love it.
to authentically reinvent yourself and create the future and the life that you desire. You have that power. You can do that. One
Yes.
day at a time, one step at a time, one decision at a time.
I love it. Now that was juicy. That was juicy. I'm gonna have to take a sip on that one because that was juicy.
Mm, me too.
Cheers, my friend. That was
Yes,
so good. Yes. Oh,
thank
I
you.
have loved talking with you tonight. I
Likewise.
have certainly enjoyed you. I am so grateful for you joining me tonight and sharing your nuggets of wisdom as well as sharing your story. I definitely hope you guys will continue to follow Deborah and the great work that she's doing. And if you yourself have experienced trauma and need a little assistance, or just reach out to her if you just need some inspiration. It's always good to get around people who can inspire you and motivate you past where you are. You've heard her story. It's phenomenal. She dropped that amazing nugget. Never be afraid to begin again. Know that you can always do that. I love it. Listen, connect with her. She is a gem. I certainly appreciate her, and I look forward to doing more marvelous things with you in the future, Deborah. Thank
Absolutely.
you
Me
so
too.
much.
Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. Well, you guys, we're at that time where, I mean, like I said, time flies when you're having fun. But just remember, today is a fantastic day to make a difference in the lives of those that are around you. Don't mistake that. You can always be impactful, and today's a great day to get started. Remember to love, like, and share this episode. Share, 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 because there are people that need to hear this. I don't know who they are, but you do. Share it, baby, so they can be blessed too, all right? You all have a fantastic week. Join me next week as I sit down with Susan Smart. And believe me, that's another one that has a fantastic story of triumph. I'm T Lynn Tate. This has been Sip and Chat with T Lynn. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you next week. Bye.